Hello everyone. So this video is going to be a little bit unusual in the sense that I don't think you'll be seeing my face in it really. I've not been feeling very well lately and I just don't really feel like looking at my face in the editing process. But I figured what I'd like to do this time around is show some sort of more normal, everyday, seemingly mundane creative process. So it's a mix of things that could be termed household activities, chores, that kind of stuff, but also art projects. So I figured what I would do today is just show some of my recent process. Some of this will be more everyday activities, a little bit of sewing, mending, adjusting clothing, but also some creative endeavors. Aspects of sewing for doll making, aspects of drawing and painting, and also aspects of experimenting with my ink making process. You will see clips, at least later in this video, of some of that. And the long and short, the TLDR of that process at the moment is that I'm investigating making powdered ink so that I can ship it abroad via my Etsy shop once I have all of that kind of figured out, because shipping liquids is not legal. So I had this idea that I could still somehow do a fermented ink process. But to be honest, I think there's a much more straightforward way for me to go about it. So you will see some aspects of my experimentation with that, and the sort of resulting understanding that I got out of that is that I have a much more straightforward way to do it in the future. So yeah, I'm going to show bits and pieces of recent creative processes and sort of daily rhythms. I also want to talk to you guys a bit about the sort of more brainstorming, I guess, aspect of what I'm kind of considering doing in the near future. I want to talk a little bit more about some of my other decks and things, but I also want to, as always on this channel, really link that thoroughly as much as I possibly can in a social media format with resources, art historical reference material, all that kind of thing, because the aim for me in covering literally anything on this platform in particular rather than just the blog is to kind of show process and here's how I do some things, here are some ideas, here are some examples of what can be done with this, that, and the other thing. The aim really is just to illustrate in the hopes that it helps other people come up with their own ideas and their own way of approaching things and garners a bit of discussion. That's the aim anyway. Whether I achieve that or not is another matter. So I'm hoping, for example, soon to present some stuff about this deck. I really can't say the French. I'm so bad at it, but basically I worked on a little translation of the guidebook, checked through my errors and all that kind of thing using translation software, and I've been working with this a bit. The guidebook comes in the structure of the image of the card plus sort of medieval Gnostic poetry, so that there is the card image, the poem, and then a divinatory message, which is also very much in verse format a lot of the time. And I've been having some really interesting ideas about this deck, and furthermore, as part of the sort of exploration of that, I've been looking into forms of medieval magic, and I also attended a conference, an online free conference, at least the morning session I did anyway, that was called, hold on, let me pull up the name so I get it right. So it was called Imaginative Landscapes and Otherworlds, and I attended therefore the sort of morning session. Let me just make sure, yes. I attended the morning session and some of the topics involved in that. The session 1 was called The Individual's Journey Within Medieval Otherworlds, and some of the segments were Imagining an Otherworld, a Creative Critical Peregrination Through Early Medieval England, The Green Children of Woolpit, a Weird Allegory of Isolation, Otherness, and Belonging, and Enchantment in Plain Sight, Journeys Within Numinous Landscapes in the Mabinogion. And the various different lecturers for that were Dr. Mike Bintley, Dr. Sonia Overall, and Dr. June Ann Greeley. So it was just a really, really interesting sort of set of ideas to explore. As you can imagine, it would also fit very nicely in with the pagan Otherworlds visual symbolism. But basically, this deck has been a huge inspiration point for me, and it really does explore quite nicely and in quite a well-informed yet really still creatively inspiring, is that a full sentence? It basically it's really inspiring and it's well-informed is what I'm trying to say. I'm still not very well, so my words are not great at the moment. You can imagine, like, look at all the visionary elements in this deck. So I've been using it as a really sort of nice contemplative opportunity to brush up on a few things, check information, resources, consider what I feel medieval pilgrimages are about, what medieval peregrinations are about, what the Fool's Journey is, what medieval symbolism does or doesn't mean to me in various contexts, my experience of color as it relates to historical aesthetics, all sorts of things like that. Also, very distinctly using, come on, focus. Very distinctly using historical aesthetics as a creative jumping off point, because, as I hope is clear on this channel, while I care quite a lot about the sort of thoroughness of my reference material, and how I diversify and cite sources and all sorts of things like that, and getting my reference material, you know, as detailed as I practically can, the whole aim for me is to use that as creative inspiration, really to sort of dig deep into detail first, and then think and explore and create and innovate from there. So hopefully this hodgepodge of a video won't try your patience too much, and I hope to see you guys next time I upload, and hopefully there will be something of interest here. The last thing I'll just say is that I also had a super fun time recently recovering my grimoire with various papers and things, so yeah. It's been like a hodgepodge time for me. It's the end of the summer. Nothing is going to make particularly linear sense, and that's just going to have to be how it is until I finish waking up for the autumn.
This is where I must begin. Memory is full of sins. I know we met, I don't know when. I know this place, I've never been. My memories are not my own, just a flash of light that I call home. Nothing but electric charge, like fireflies held in a jar. My bloody taste of salt and rust, my skin and bones are made of dust. Not a thing for you to trust, just nothing like the rest of us. My mind was never mine, you know. I borrowed it some time ago. Made of water, made of sand, molded by the master's hand. My bloody taste of salt and rust, my skin and bones are made of dust. falls out of place, and I'll forget my mother's face. My bloody taste of salt and rust, my skin and bones are made of dust. Not a thing for you.
So I don't think I have actually done any spoken vloggy bits as of yet in this video compilation that I think I'm making. I think so far you will have seen various crafty projects, stages, and various things that I've been working on, because I want to show a little bit more of the actual process and sort of day-to-day rhythms of things that I'm trying to expand upon in my life. I would like more of that to be visible and seen on this channel. So what you're looking at here, I believe in terms of what I've filmed so far, you will have seen some of the setup process for this. So what you're looking at here are 2 jars of experiments in terms of producing what I hope will be a viable powdered ink. Now, I normally make my own ink for my journaling, my grimoire, some of my art, and so on, according to medieval recipes. Iron gall ink in this case here. So you would think that I wouldn't need 2 jars and all that kind of thing, but actually what's happening here is that one of these is made with purified water and the other is made, as you can probably tell here, with wine. I'll show you a close-up in a minute. And part of the reason I'm doing this is to see if one or the other produces a more consistent result in terms of ink that I can reduce down into powder that can then be rehydrated and shipped abroad. So what we have here is this jar contains about 12 ounces of what was purified water, filtered and so on, as well as the oak galls, which I broke up with my mortar and pestle and are in a little linen sachet that I made. And you will notice that this linen sachet is, let's see if I can hold this still, is currently floating, and I don't know if I'll be able to show very well. But just at the top here, the linen actually has a little bit of mold growing on it, which is, chemically speaking, desirable for the ink making process. The end result will not be moldy because this is going to get cooked in a certain way and reduced down and so on, so it should be fine, but it is something that historically is thought to have benefited the ink making process. So this is a water solution, and the current coppery amber color is from the tannic acid. And then here we have exactly the same measurements, ingredients, and so on, with the exception, of course, that this is made with red wine. And in this case, I am experimenting to see if the acidic properties of the wine will benefit the process of making a powdered ink. I have a few reasons for suggesting that this, suspecting rather, that this will be advantageous. So it's something that I'm experimenting with. Historically, inks would have been made with either water or various alcohols or vinegars and so on. And certainly there are other colors that I think it would be more common to make with an alcoholic or vinegar-based acidic base fluid like wine or ale and so on. So that's what's currently happening here. So that's where things are at right now. As you can see, my little cabinet forms a great opportunity for me to store things away and out of sunlight. These have been steeping in here, I think now for about 6 days. And hopefully I'll get something that I feel is up to snuff out of this. If not, I'll just keep journaling with them.
I know soon as from earth I go, what the dreary regions of the dead, where all things are forgot. And am I born to die, to lay this body down, and must my trembling spirit fly into a world unknown.
All right, I hope everyone is doing well, taking care of themselves to the best of their ability, and being kind. And I will see you all next time. Bye.